I challenge anybody watching this. Watch the 2001 World Series between Arizona Diamondbacks and the New York Yankees. Baseball can't get better than that. It's a fun game. There's something happening on every pitch.
Why though?
Because there's action, there's activity. There's a guy who's
and what
stealing.
else is there? I mean, it's a much larger point. There's also steroids.
Yeah, steroids, exactly.
I think there should be steroids in baseball.
There should be,
You think it should be legal, steroids in baseball?
It's not hurting anybody. They're hitting a fucking ball.
Yeah,
I want to see the guys juice to the fucking max, cranking home runs.
Listen,
having a little
Did
personality.
anybody get mad at Brad Pitt for being juiced to the hilt and Troy having 19 abs?
Yeah, they're not hurting anybody. It's baseball.
So legalize steroids.
100%.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Come on.
What are your thoughts on that? You have an opposing
No,
argument?
I'm just.
or,
So you're just encouraging steroids?
well, give us your argument. though.
That's the argument.
Should Arnold Schwarzenegger give back all the box office
We had
that
an
he made?
entire conversation last podcast
Yeah.
about drugs,
Okay.
about pills,
Yeah.
and about cocaine, and I'm like, look, marijuana ain't that bad. Da, 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 da. Now we're like, shoot up, throw some random shit in
There's
your
a difference.
system.
There's a difference.
What big difference?
I give you the big difference. I'll give you the big difference. Okay, so in 2001, Morgan Stanley, 9/11, 2001, I go to Mr. Olympia, okay? I'm in shape. I'm ready. I'm thinking about going into the world to compete, right? It's either going to be I'm going to go be a stockbroker with Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, or I'm going to go be a bodybuilder. I go to Mr. Olympia.
Oh, but this is real. You
This is
actually
real.
competed.
Yeah, in the
sick.
Army. No, never at that.
But you also.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
sick.
Yeah, I was. But this is in the Army. I was
respect,
competing.
though. Yeah,
So
that's cool.
So I go to Mr. Olympia. So I'm like, I'm gonna find out what this life looks like. Okay. So I walk around and I start hanging out with these guys. We start partying. Some of the big names at the time. They, if you follow bodybuilding, you know these names. I've interviewed most
You
of
want me
them.
to rip them off for you? Or?
No,
I'll
no,
rip
no,
the
no.
names off if you want.
Who you got?
You would get the names.
Oh, yeah.
You'd get the names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're talking-
Cormier was a party guy. Aaron Baker, all these guys, right? So anyway, so I go and I say, so tell me what it takes to be Mr. Olympia. Okay? The guy says, you want to be Mr. Olympia? He says, yeah. I said, I want to know what it takes. I said, I don't want to be a Mr. Olympia competitor.
I want to be
the
Mr.
Mr. Olympia, right? Like, I want to be Arnold. Tell me this.
By the way, Phil Heath used to sit in this seat right here.
Phil Heath is my boy.
Yeah,
So
so-
Denver guy.
Denver guy, that's right.
100%.
Denver guy.
That's where me and
Basketball.
We used to work out at the same gym.
And
yeah.
he also went to University of Colorado. He
Correct.
was like a super.
he went
University
to
of
DU.
Denver.
He was a
That's
basketball
right. That's
player.
right. That's right. That's right.
But
That's
he's
right.
been
That's
on
right.
Fire the Kid. Great guy.
Yeah,
Phil's a
phenomenal
great dude.
guy.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So let me go back to this. So I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, listen, I want to kind of be Mr. Olympia, and if I'm going to do this, I'm not doing it to compete. I want to be the Mr. Olympia. He says, okay, let me explain to you what we take, and they make the list. Okay. This. I won't give the name of who it was, but we went through the whole list of things. Yeah. You need to take
7 pages long.
Then you're 6'4", 6'5". You're gonna be off season 350. And no one has ever won Mr. Olympia at 6'4", 6'5". The tallest guy that won it was 6'2.5", 235, 245. His name is Arnold. During the days where bodybuilding was very different, nowadays
But now they're all 5'9".
Ronnie Coleman won it. He was like 5'9", 5'10",
Ronnie
310.
Coleman's
300 pounds.
5'9"?
Yeah.
Well, Ronnie Coleman's maybe 5'10".
300
5'11",
pounds.
How tall do you think
300
Phil
pounds.
is? Phil's 5'9", right?
Yeah, but Ronnie looks bigger.
No.
But to your point, I would tell people this all the time, and when I was coaching.
Well,
But let me make my point. Let me finish
Yeah.
my point. The point is the following here. If you're going to go at that level, like you look at LeBron, you think LeBron just takes creatine? I don't know about that. Man, you look at LeBron, you think
That's
LeBron,
the point I was going to make. You don't think they're taking whoever your favorite athlete, you don't think
LeBron
they're
takes
on
But
amino
this is my
acids.
point. They're doing it on the low. It's not
on.
encouraged and out there.
No,
That's a problem, though. So,
Yeah.
like, look.
But
you
baseball doesn't need to announce, hey, free game. It should just, be.
Make
Bro,
it
98
very...
It's just wink,
season.
wink. It's all good.
Bro,
98
dude,
season.
What percentage of NBA players do you think are smoking weed?
Probably all of them.
80+%.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
But they're
weed.
not like it. I agree. It's less harmful than steroids.
No, but there's a return. There's a
what?
return. There's a big difference between weed, cocaine, LSD, Special K. There's a very difference
all the good stuff.
between that and steroids. There's a very big difference there.
Okay. Go.
Meaning Barry Bonds. Okay, Juan Gonzalez used to be like this, right? He came in, he was hitting 40 home runs. Then he started juicing.
Right.
Then he wasn't hitting the way he was hitting before. It actually didn't help him as much, right? Some of the guys, because it's good to be like this, sometimes it widens up a little too much. It doesn't work for everybody, right? Pitchers, you're doing it more for your shoulders, your elbows, recovery. That's more. So it's not like you're doing it like Roger Clemens wasn't benching 6 plates and, wanting to go compete. Roger Clemens was recovering faster, having 21-game seasons.
Yeah,
right?
Adam,
And why do you think LeBron's playing so long at such a high level?
Yeah.
You know, nobody think that's weird?
But bring that back to baseball. You're saying, hey, go at it. Do steroids.
Bro, it's a libertarian concept. The only thing is, like for me, if weed is legal, you got to look at that steroid, similar kind of a conversation. I see steroids in a similar kind of a conversation. I see it as a similar type of a conversation because you choose to choose to put it in your body.
What is performance enhancing? Let me give you a different perspective, right? Like that term performance enhancing, like shit used to drive me out of my mind. I never took steroids, but I did everything possible within the rules to mimic the effect of steroids. We all did.
Anatestin, Nortestin.
Everything. So instead of taking one clean shot from a doctor, I'm taking 15 freaking 7-keto DHEAs and then another like T-bomb and then
you're a freaking physicist over there in your body.
But this is what's happening, right? Like year 1, that's legal. Year 2, that stuff's illegal. I never broke any rules. Was I a performance enhancing drug? Like it's such a mockery of it. And now my body's like a bunch of melted crayons because I completely turned my metabolism off.
But also
I mean,
baseball, nobody's getting hurt either. You're hitting a ball.
So you guys are all on the same page. Steroids, baseball,
when
good
it's
to go.
professional, this is the truth. The biggest mistake I ever made in the minor leagues was not taking steroids. The biggest mistake I ever made, because once you're there, your job is to make as much money for your family as you possibly can.
My logic behind this is, if it's something you're going to do to advance, like there is a way that you're advancing, you can consider it, if there is. For some people, it doesn't work out well. For some people, it does.
What are the side effects of steroids?
By the way,
you actually do.
But that's a great question.
But
that's a great question. Because it's illegal, kids are taking things that they shouldn't take in quantities they shouldn't take it. If it was legal and your team doctor was able to administer it, the side effects are negligible.
So you're saying if a doctor
the larger point as far as side effects in those grown men, probably not much, but
they're not growing a third testicle, having heart issues. You're actually saying steroids aren't that bad for you?
No, not at all.
All right, like can we get some freaking steroids in here? I got to step. I got to burn a thick boy network.
The problem you can run into is if we have kids. So if you have a 12-year-old kid who idolizes his favorite baseball player, Ryan Braun or some shit like that, and he's on steroids, well, that's going to encourage that kid to do steroids at a young age.
Yeah.
So if they do it in high school and like middle school, that's where it gets done.
Just like in the baseball players.
Do you remember any kids in high school that were on steroids or junior high school? I remember.
Sure. Yeah,
it was a little awkward. Yeah, by the way, it was very awkward.
Yeah, so awkward.
Yeah, very
awkward. Why do you have a mustache?
Yeah.
And you're a female.
Yeah.
Now the greatest swimmer in the world, though. That's
Michael Phelps.
No. I don't. I'm telling a whole different story with
the college.
But again, you talk about the Lance Armstrong got caught and they paraded him around like a pariah, and then
so should he be able to do
this? Is the thing?
Yes,
he came
you're
out
riding a bike.
But the thing is,
so you're good to go with the steroids.
Yes, you're on a fucking
Tyler,
bike.
Okay, how about
Tyler,
this?
look it up.
Who should not be able to do steroids?
I know NFL and UFC. I know.
Why NFL?
Because you're physically hurting each other. So if that steroids allows him to go 0 to 40-yard dash faster, he's physically inflicting more pain.
Unless everybody's on the same thing.
So you're saying
unless everybody has access.
Individual sports, you're riding a bike, you're hitting a
baseball. Not hurting anybody.
So combat sports.
But if you're actually
if physical contact,
okay, you're
dicey.
drawing a line somewhere.
Yeah,
now
that's
it's
why I
starting
draw
to
the
make
line.
some sense. Okay,
But even then, those guys are
Tyler,
doing
you got to look it up for me, man.
Of course,
they're all doing it.
I believe the last Tour de France where Lance Armstrong got caught taking steroids.
You have to go down to 15th place to find a guy who didn't test positive.
I think it was 24th.
Maybe.
24
that
before
didn't
you
use it.
That did not test positive.
The 2 through like 20 all have been caught doing steroids.
So Lance was a scapegoat, is what you're saying. The whole team was for
Lance's thing. He was an asshole. So that's why they went after.
So let me ask you.
Really?
Yeah.
By the way, this goes to another name, Barry Bonds. Okay, similar with Barry Bonds.
Another asshole.
Another asshole,
Yes.
right? I mean, that's
nobody wants to see those guys win.
Perry belongs in the Hall of Fame all day long.
I want to watch that guy swing the bat every day of my life.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame no matter
long.
what. Yeah.
What about Sammy Sosa?
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
And the steroids turned him white.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Oh, that was it. That was the bleach. Okay, my bad.
Might be a lotion.
Yeah, maybe a little. Not enough time in the sun. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, got out
It's
of
weird what's going on there.
He's Salmon Sosa now. Yeah.
66 home runs that one season, 98. I don't know if you've seen the
how fun was
documentary.
it?
That's the point.
I was in the military. Man, we had a great time watching
McGuire
it.
Sosa home run.
I don't even like baseball. And I watch that.
That
You became a
Bud
fan.
Selig,
Yeah.
The fact that Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame after he destroyed the game in '95 and then turned a blind eye to everything, and these guys aren't.
Yeah. But you have
Nonsense.
kids, right? Try and get them to watch baseball. My son's like, get the fuck out of here.
Your son's 5.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck is this?
Your son's 5. It goes dogs like that. He's was he
talks
raised by Sammy the Bull?
Yeah, he talks Sammy the Bull. But he's tough.
Hey, Dad, what is this bullshit on TV right now?
Fortnite is nothing but video games.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.